Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome along to Carl Oval here in Belmont. What a day. It's a fairly chilly afternoon here on the lake, but we are expecting the heat to rise with both of these sides expected to be there come September. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome along to Bar TV's live and exclusive coverage of the top of the table clash between Macquarie and, of course, their opposition in Lakes United. We've got a cast of superstars in the commentary box today. We'll introduce them one by one. But this man, first of all, good afternoon to Morgan Campbell.
Afternoon, Peter. Very good to be here. This should be an absolute belter today. Of course, it's a grand final replay. We already know that. But it's also a game between teams 1 and 2, and they're 1 and 2 for a reason. Macquarie are having a great year. They started slowly, but they've showed a hell of a lot, particularly in the last month. Lakes United, they're having a bit of a stuttering season. I mean, they look very good one week and then pretty ordinary the next. They were rolled again by Curry for the second time in 3 weeks, 7 days ago. So they've got a bit to prove today. And, of course, when these sides met a few weeks ago, it was a 24-all draw. So I think we've got plenty to look forward to this afternoon. Yeah,
it's all coming your way this afternoon right here on the home of Newcastle Rugby League, Bar TV Sports. Well, without further ado, we answered the call throughout the week from Tom Taylor throughout the week. He always wanted to be in the commentary box. It was a childhood dream. And this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, he's here to... Well, we're here about making dreams come true, aren't we, here on Bar TV, Morgan?
Always, mate, always.
Here he is, Tom Taylor. Welcome to the commentary box.
Thanks, Pete. Yeah, as you said, it's been a dream come true. I didn't think I'd be so young when I could tick this one off my bucket list.
Mate, fantastic. It's pretty
sad.
Yes?
I'm interested, unless something's changed, John Taylor's the referee today.
Yep.
Now, you and he have a bit of history as far as I can tell. How are you going to cope with what some people might consider to be a bit of a conflict of interest? How's that going to go for you today? If he makes a blue and you think it's a real stuff-up, are you going to say so?
I don't know, because I think he's on dinner patrol tonight. So I think if I want him to shout my dinner, I think I've got to be on my best behaviour tonight, Morgan.
Yep, fair enough. You know where your bread's buttered, that's good.
So by that I mean, yeah, I'm going to let him know.
Okay, well, it's great to have Tom Taylor in the commentary box here today. Well, we're only a few minutes away from kick-off, so let's go through both of the sides as they'll take to the field here this afternoon. Let's go through Lakes United as they'll come out here. At full-back is Jamie Goulmere. On the wings is Kyle Kennedy and also James Varka. The 3 and 4 is Josh Charles and Marcel Ikanofo. The 6 and 7 is Jack Kelly and Brad Murray. 13 is Lyndon Hills. 12 is Marcus Marsh. 11 is Dylan Harton. Ben Sams in 10. James Desacks, he'll go to hooker for the first time here this afternoon in 2016, while Jay Sullivan will drop on to the interchange bench. The prop for the Seagulls is Sean Boss. The reserve bench of Josh Hayes, Curtly Hoggets, Chance Burgess, and the man I just mentioned there, Jay Sullivan. They're, of course, coached by Dean Noonan. The Macquarie Scorpions look this way. At fullback is Matt Simon. On the wings is Matt Hay and also Ryan Pyrewell. Nathan Cantor and Teeson Vivali Eli in 4. The 6 and 7, for the first time in 12 months, he's back for Macquarie, Scott Briggs. He'll partner Andrew Sumner. 13 is Blake Gallen. 12 is Simon Allen. Shamedal in 11. Swaddling in 10. Hyde goes to 9. And Isaac Briggs will prop for the Macquarie Scorpions. The interchange bench, Jordan Noble, Ty Alchin and Adam Grew. And, of course, they're coached by Adam Bettridge. Let's go through the commentary side. Morgan, who do you like today?
Well, I think I've got to go to Macquarie today. I think they're just going a little better at this stage. Lakes have been a bit up and down. I'd say the crowd will give them a lift, but I just think Macquarie might be a bit too classy, especially with Scott Briggs back in the side. Be close, though.
Tom, who do you like this afternoon?
Oh, I probably won't give an opinion on that, but what I can say, I think it's going to be a very forwards game.
Come on, you're not refereeing today. Have a go.
To be honest, even if I was going to say for a team, I don't think I'd be able to. I think I'm going to call it a draw. I'm going to call for a draw here.
That's sitting on the fence. I'm
going to say 10-all. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game because it's very sandy out there. I think they've brought half a Redhead Beach with them. But, yeah, it's going to be a very forwards game. The outside backs will struggle to get agility on this field.
Have you ever seen a season with so many draws? I think there's been 5 draws this season already.
5?
Something like that. Yeah, well, Lakes and Curry have had one. There's been one here. There was one last week as well.
Yeah, there's West and South was a draw.
I think there's been up to five draws in the season. Incredible. It just shows how close the competition is, I suppose.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, as I mentioned there, Scott Briggs, he's set to play his first Newcastle Rugby League game in almost 12 months. after recovering from a broken arm he suffered in the pre-season. I guess for a lot of them, the playmaker hasn't yet tackled first grade for Macquarie since signing with the club in 2016 and hasn't featured in top flight football since last year playing for South, as we see Macquarie now coming out onto the field. So today Briggs will join younger brothers Randall at 5'8", Isaac at prop and first grade, while older brothers Jacob and Robbie played in earlier grades, in open grade and reserve grades. So outside the comeback of Briggs, the Scorpions are pretty much unchanged. And we spoke to Adam Bettrich throughout the week, and he reckons that consistency has been key to 5 wins in their last 6 outings. Meanwhile, for the side on the left-hand side of the halfway line, Lakes United, they're without a few people. They've had mass modifications to the squad here today. They're without Chris Randall. He's out with an ankle injury. Joining Seagulls winger Matt Craig. He's out with rib injuries. And the player of the year, well, Chris Adams, we know where he is. He's at the Newcastle Knights. So Dean Noonan has said that they could be better, but they'll battle through and give it a real good crack. So there they are on screen right now. Lakes United and the Macquarie Scorpions. Both of these sides have already met once this year. It was back in round 6 of the competition. On that day, it was a 24-all draw when they last met. Let's see what Tom's going to say about this pitch. Mate, you've been out there in reserve grade today. You mentioned there was pretty sandy, but we'll also be observing a 1-minute silence today. We might observe that 1-minute silence now, and we'll come back and we'll find out what it's actually like to be out there in the middle here at Carl Oval to referee top flight Newcastle Rugby League. In other Sunday fixtures today, Wests host Cessnock and Curry are away to Central. So we'll be upstanding now for a minute's silence. Well, there's our 1-minute silence.
Wasn't that beautifully observed?
It was. It was indeed. So congratulations to everybody here, because you know what can happen in big flight rugby league when there's a minute silence, but not here in the Newcastle Rugby League. Well, Scorpions coach Adam Bettrich, he's convinced about returning Briggs in what he describes as the biggest game that he has been in charge of in 2016 so far at Macquarie.
The biggest game in his Macquarie coaching career, I think he said. All 12 games so far haven't been bigger than this one, so that's good to know.
It has. It has. Well, we're about to go.
Right.
Running right to left on the screen. This is the Newcastle Rugby League, and we're underway. Sunday afternoon football, the grand final replay of last year, and it's great to see as we see the Scorpions sitting on top of the ladder. They'll be hoping to hold on to that position come 80 minutes here this afternoon.
One down already, Pete, for Macquarie. Down on his haunches in back play. Is that Swaddling down?
Yeah, looks like Adam Swaddling in the 10, Pete. He's in a bit of trouble. Getting some help from the trainer.
Let's hope he's just got the wind knocked out of him and nothing further than that.
So Hyde, what a year it's been for him, featuring on the NRL rookie program. He's in the last 3 or 4. We hope he can go close to taking out the competition on that program. Wish him all the best. There he is now in a dummy half. Giving it back away now to Andrew Subner. He's going to put in the boot downfield. And we
Don't
see
be surprised if we stop play here.
So far, not much in this one. This is Ikanofo in the commentary box today. We have Tom Taylor, of course, an official in our Newcastle Rugby League. And, of course, as always, analysing each run, each hit up and each try. Morgan Campbell. As we see now, Josh Charles going from dummy half before giving the pass away. So they're up towards the halfway line here. They're looking
to knock on.
Pop it out the back.
John Taylor, eagle eye. He doesn't miss many.
A little bit of niggle here. So if you're the referee out there at the moment, Tom,
yeah,
what are you saying to the guys? Just settle it down early on in the opening few minutes?
Well, I probably wouldn't start by saying settle it down. To be honest, the first 5 minutes I don't usually say much. I let them tell me what the game's going to be like. So I don't think JT will be saying much at this scrum, apart from what he's expecting in the scrum.
Okay, thoughts there. We go inside the referee's mind with Tom Taylor here this afternoon. And Tom will give us his interpretation of every penalty here today. So stay with us. Backer comes now to Allen. He takes it down inside the Lakes territory. They're 30 metres out from the opposition's line. Gallen's got the ball. He throws out the back to Briggs. Goes short to Shamidal. He was after his sixth try. He was cut down 20 metres out. Kicking in that tackle. But the referee's given a penalty here, Tom. 15 metres out from the Lakes goal line.
Yeah, mate. Brad Murray just being lazy in that ruck, laying there way too long. Just needs to get up a little bit quicker than that.
So bit of class there from Scott Briggs, though. I mean, nothing ended up coming off it, but he just held that pass up beautifully and then put Josh Schmiedel through. And
great line speed too. Great line speed. He was charging at the Lakes defence.
He's a huge addition for them.
So Hyde sending it away to the left-hand side. Subner goes short. That's Simon Allen. He's cut down there, about 4 metres away from the Lakes line. There's Ikanofo back on his goal line for Lakes as the play now comes back to the right-hand side of the park. It comes back to Isaac Briggs. And he's chopped down there, of course, by D-Sacks. Here come Macquarie. They cut out Gallen to go to Hyde. He threw the dummy high. He's still going. They're trying to put him on his back, but they can't. Plays the ball out the back to Gallen. Away to Briggs. They'll kick. They'll chase. Who's going to bang it dead? Goulmy has to send it over the dead ball line. Goal line drop out here. More pressure coming up for the home side.
Yeah, slow start for Lakes here. One mistake and Macquarie have pounced right on them. And, just building up pressure. And it is something that Adam Bettridge has brought to their season and brought to their game this year. They don't try and score off every play. They're happy to roll it into the in-goal, get another set and build the pressure. There's a real maturity about them this year that might not have been there a few seasons prior.
Might add, Pete, that Lakes in-goal is probably one of the biggest in-goals in the Tooheys Cup. So we might see a few of those little grubbers into the in-goals. Because I think Macquarie know that if they're not going to score a try, they're going to get a repeat set.
Tom Taylor there is Gallen on his back there from Kelly. So it's all been the away side. Hyde goes left, finds Briggs, cuts out one to Allen, and he's been smashed over there by D-Sacks. Referee has seen a tiny knock on there, I think you'll find, Morgan.
Yeah, that's right. Simon Allen just lost it in the ruck there. So pressure off for Lakes. Who was that mug that said Macquarie build pressure? We've seen this from Lakes a bit this year. They tend to start quite slowly and just work into games. And in fact, they did it a lot last year as well. They'll come into the game pretty slowly, maybe even concede a few points, go in at half-time behind, and then in the last 20 minutes of the game, you see them with the crowd on their back really rally and find a lot. So if you're a Lakes fan watching this today, don't panic if they don't hit the front straight away.
So coming away from their own red zone here, up towards the 40-metre line. That's Marcus Marsh. D-Sacks. They're exploring the options with their hooker position, aren't they, Lake, since Chris Adams has gone over to Newcastle. Penalty here, given away by Gallen.
Yeah, I don't think we have to explain that one. Big grapple tackle by Gallen there. Just head around the neck. Hand around the neck.
So this will give us a head around the neck. I suppose it tends to be, doesn't it?
Yeah, it usually is.
So this will a little bit niggly in the play the ball so far from both sides. A couple of penalties.
Oh,
one-on-one strip.
One-on-one. There was going to be a one-on-one strip, but it'd definitely have to be Schmiedel.
Good shot on Isaac Briggs, led of course by Dylan Harden. So high, a little bit of niggle in that tackle between Briggs and Harton. You'd expect that When both of these sides meet, it's a fiery encounter. Cantor got a hit to the nose there. A little bit of blood coming from the nose too there. You can just see him in back play there. Just hoping that he's okay in himself. That's the halfway line here. And that's Adam Swadling. Drop down there from Sean Boss. Back to Hyde. He works it back to the left. Now to Briggs. Puts it onto the left boot. Ball goes downfield. Cut off over there on the wing. And they're going to be brought down back now to the 30-metre line. And, of course, that's Jamie Goulmere here. About 22 metres out from their own line. Morgan Campbell.
Yeah, I think Scott Briggs brings good balance to the Macquarie side. Having Sumner, who's going to be able to do a lot of the kicking, he finds the grass a hell of a lot. He's a good tactical kicker. And then Briggs, who can run a lot of the attack earlier in the set with his good passing game. It gives them a lot of different options.
I'll second that, Morgan. Scott Briggs is probably one of the best, has the best passing game in the Tooheys Cup. And Andy's...
Just getting a bit ratty already. Eh?
Wonder if this might be a little bit of a strategy here. Intimidation.
So a good kick for touch, though, wasn't it? Found the line here, Morgan, about 21 metres out. So how many times in rugby league do you see it where one team can go on the defensive workout and then get a little bit of possession and come away with points? The home side going to do that here this afternoon. D. Sachs goes to the left-hand side. He now finds Ben Sams, and he's been knocked down there, of course, by Hyde. They'll play the ball back. It comes down to D. Sachs, away to Murray. Turns it back to Charles. He beat one, and he's dropped down. 2 metres out from the Macquarie line. Here they come now. D. Sachs again in a dummy half. He'll look right. He'll look for a hole runner. Can they get over the line, or are they short? They're 2 metres out from the line. James D. Sachs again waiting in a dummy half. They might get a penalty here, Lakes. They do. What was that one for, Tom?
Mate, same thing. Holding down way too long. As you can see, you called the tackle and you got about 3 sentences out of your mouth before he called the penalty. So, yeah, way too long.
Yeah, seems like both sides really looking for that advantage around the ruck. And Taylor's very keen on it so far. Wants a bit of consistency and a bit of flow to the game.
So playing the ball there is Boss. Back to D. Sachs. Away now. Murray will feature shortly. Away to the 10-metre line is where they'll be heavily pushed into the sand pit here. Now to D. Sachs. Finding Murray. They cut out one. Great ball. There's a chance out wide. Varka offloads on the ground. Play on. Back to Charles. He'll bump. He'll swerve. Can he offload? He can't. Here come the Seagulls. 2 metres out from the Scorpions line. 0-0 on the Benedict Race Recycling scoreboard. 6 minutes gone. There's a chance. They'll kick. They'll chase. Where's the cover? Coming through. There's the cover. There's a try. First try. Great try to the Seagulls. They lead 4-0. That was impressive to watch.
Yeah, lovely kick there. I think it was Jack Kelly who put it through. He's got plenty of class. Just ran to the line. That's one of the things about him. He's always keen to get as close to the line as possible. Threaded the kick through, and they were badly outnumbered there out wide. I think it was Ryan Pywell who had to chase back, and he just got swamped by oncoming Lakes chasers. They knew the kick was coming, and they were where they needed to be. And that's just typical of them. They've worn a lot of pressure in the first 10 minutes, but they find themselves with the points.
He held it up well, didn't he, Jack Kelly? It's normally a play like that. You'd see a pass around the back, but he saw Ryan Pywell hit. And obviously, just as soon as he sees the winger come forward, he just knows putting a kick through, they'll have all the space in the world, especially with this in goal.
Yeah, we saw one last week involving Jack Kelly up at Curry, and we'll see it here again. You see how close he gets to the line. He's always a chance of getting belted there, and you've got to be pretty brave at this level to do that. But a good force there from Cal Guest out wide as well to get it down, because that ball was bobbling around awkwardly.
That's impressive. How good was that to watch? How nervous would you have been if you were Kyle Kennedy? But he made it look oh so simple. So the first try after 10 minutes here. Murray to convert the Kennedy try. He's got it. The crowd go wild. 6 points to 0 here after 10 minutes of the match.
Yeah, they look very slick, don't they, in the back line, Lakes? They're very well organised. They've got a very set back line. They don't have too much chopping and changing, particularly in the centre of the field. And it means that they've got those training ground moves. They tend to put them in place pretty well.
So Sunday afternoon football, thanks to Top Better. Get in the game at topbetter.com.au. Like to thank Benedict's Waste Recycling and Cornelius Crump in 2016. The most exotic drink throughout the Hunter Valley. They're our sponsors of the Newcastle Rugby League, along with Tui's. The Tui's Cup, of course. That's Marcus Marsh in 12. Just shy of the halfway line. D-Sacks sends it to the right. Back to Murray, inside or outside. Just outside the 40. He's kicking it downfield. It's heading towards touch. What a kick. It was
Clever
only
kick.
about 2 or 3 metres from that being a 40-20.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even so, clever kick. I mean, he just puts it into touch, lets the game roll on a little bit. Just take any momentum out of Macquarie.
Yeah, it's going to put Ryan Pywell in two minds too every time Brad Murray's lurching around that 40-metre line.
So look out for Varvaeli today as well when he gets into open space. He's Macquarie's leading point scorer. 5 tries this season along with 36 goals, a personal tally of 92 points. He's one to watch. Only behind Brent Mendyke from Cessnock, who's sitting on top of the leading point scorer list on 96 points. So we're into the back end of the competition as we head down to grand final day towards the back end of September. All games on Bar TV Sports, just like the last year. Back to Briggs, an impressive game, kicking away from Varka. There he is on the screen now, running away as best as he can, squatting them off like flies, wasn't he, Tom, before Scotty Briggs stops him in his tracks.
Oh, yeah, good run. He's the only one running back from that kick. First contact was probably 10 metres away from where he finished, so very good run.
So Tom Taylor and Morgan Campbell in the commentary box here today. Join in the conversation on Twitter or hit us up on Facebook and let everybody know that this is the top of the table clash. It's fast and it's fierce. A few penalties in this match, though.
Yeah, a few penalties and a few knock-ons from Lakes. That's, I think, the third time they've turned the ball over. And this was the trouble they had last week against Curry, and it's cost them a few times over the course of this season, putting themselves under pressure. Last week against Curry, it was bizarre. I mean, they turned the ball over an incredible amount of times coming off their own line, not least the 2 knock-ons that led to tries.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing. Just hanging on to the ball will save them a lot of drama today.
Especially in their own red zone. Like, this is in their own half. It'll take probably Macquarie 2-3 tackles to get in prime attacking opportunity.
Ryan Pywell coming in off the wing. Now that's Simon Allen. D-Sacks wrestles him down. Now to Hyde. Going himself, finding Briggs. That's Shamedal. 5 tries for Josh Shamedal. Back to Hyde.
He's using the square marker there.
Yeah, trying to get a penalty for his home side, but referee says play on. It's on the ground, but nobody wants to go away and scoop it up.
This might be play on here,
Yeah,
Pete.
it's play on. We're playing an advantage here.
In trouble was
I don't think there was an
Goulmere.
advantage. I think that came off his foot there, Andrew Sumner. And if he'd have fallen on that first, that would have been a try. Everybody seemed to stop there. It's an old thing about playing to the whistle.
Yeah.
Well, there's the whistle again.
Well, we've got a high tackle here, Pete.
Yeah, there's Briggs in there. Look, just saying to Varka, I'm back. And back
yep.
with a vengeance.
JT's heard this.
Time off here. There's Brad Murray
He's
on
calling
the
out Blake
screen.
Gallen.
Yeah, he's going to call over the
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Andy
Sumner.
Subner, the captain, of course, of Macquarie.
Now, there's been a few penalties already here. I'd count it about 4 each. Is this something that referees are aware of while the game's going on, what the count is? I mean, you might have a rough idea in your head, but you're not notified of what it is?
No, we aren't notified of any penalty counts. A lot of the times when I'm refereeing, I'll know if I'm penalising the same player over and over again. That usually sticks out in my head, or if I'm penalising one team a lot and one team not very much. But I don't usually know the exact count in my head when I'm refereeing, but I got a general idea.
So not much wind out here today. So not really favouring one or the other side in the first half. Gallen in the tackle there on Marsh. They hit it up to the 40-metre line now.
Macquarie's defence up very quickly in the middle. They seem to be wanting to really get up in the faces of the Lakes forwards.
So Desak's got it to Murray. They come out wide. Oh, lovely hands.
Good tip on intercept.
Yeah, Gulmere there. He was looking for Ikanofo, but it's come out the back door, and now Cantor. He comes up with it now for the Scorpions, and they get off him. Ikanofo back there now to the right-hand side. They're lining up and taking it forward with will. Good gusto in this match. Kelly drops off. They'll play the ball. Comes back there now to Isaac Briggs. He was trying to find Gallen. Play on. Now to Scott Briggs. He's down to the 10.
We've got 6 more, Pete.
Yeah, last
6
tackle
again.
now, Tom 2. Backer comes now to Matt Simon. What will he do? Will he chip or will he offload?
No,
He gets it back to Schmiedel. 6 more tackles,
yep, 6
is
more
it?
tackles.
Referee has said that. So we'll stick with the play. They drop down only 4 metres away. That's Briggs. So what's that? Tackle number 2.
Watch the Briggs-Schmiedel combo here on the right.
That's Hyde. Back there now to Scott Briggs. Away to Josh Schmiedel. He's dropped down. 4 metres out. Quick play the ball. Back there now to Scotty Briggs. He's got it back, Scotty Briggs. Throws out the back. Juggled by Grew.
Oh, great try.
Oh, Adam Grew's grown legs, and he scored the try.
I think he did. Was that rehearsed?
Well,
they
it
rehearsed
wasn't.
something like
That
that?
was incredible. What a bit of play. We'll have a look at the replay.
Well, you
in a
don't
moment.
need to rehearse something like that if it can come off in real time.
A little runaround play. That
Unbelievable
pass didn't
stuff.
look like it was intentional. Just looked like it just came off.
We love that, don't we, Morgan?
Oh, that was hypnotic. I mean, there were 3 or 4 passes there, back and forth. That was a lovely bit of work. And, it looked every bit like a bit of a training ground move, but beautifully executed. And Macquarie deserved that. They threw a bit at them there in that set of defence and did something a little bit different, which you've got to do against the big sides. As we see here, it was Briggs out of dummy half, off to Briggs again. And then Scott Briggs getting it back and feeding it to Adam Grew, who still had a bit of work to do there.
You know, Morgan, I think that was intentional. I think Isaac just knew where Scott was going to be. They must have practiced this a million times at training and just pops it up.
Look at the way he hits the line. So Scott Briggs throws in the ball and he immediately turns. So that he knew that Briggs was going to be there and wanted to feed him the ball.
That's
Lovely.
very hard to do because Isaac Briggs holds the ball in a position where Scott can't see the ball. So Scott just has to guess where Isaac's going to throw the ball up, and he guessed good that time.
There's the try scorer, Adam Grew. Brilliant try. Supporting one another and knowing who is out your back door. And as I said in commentary, Adam Grew. Brilliant stuff by the 16 off the interchange bench. So the kicks, they don't come much easier than this. From right in front. Touch judges, they put their flags in the air.
You say that, Pete. We did have someone miss from in front in reserve grade, one of the kickers. So, strange things have happened. But that try there came about because Lakes turned the ball over, just being a little bit too cute coming off their own line. 40 out, and they went wide and went for a bit of a tricky tip on. And we saw this from them last week. 2 of the tries that Curry scored came off Lakes, doing something a bit too clever with the ball and turning it over cheaply.
So while Macquarie bring this back, I'm just going to go around the ground from the 19s. Now, this game, you'll be very interested to know, Cessnock in the 19s absolutely walloped Western Suburbs today, Morgan. 78 points to 0 over Western Suburbs.
I'd say there'll be a few people watching that Bar TV replay.
Allen.
That's Allen. He runs straight into Gulmere. He'll play the ball back. High. Gallen. He goes himself spinning and takes the shot there from Marcus Marsh.
They'll put up projectors in the main street at Cessnock through the week to show that on loop.
Macquarie might be doing the same thing. Back there now
nice
to Schmiedel. Schmiedel will get his 6th try of 2016. Schmiedel's in. It looked easy because it was.
Macquarie fans, that's what you've got to look forward to for the rest of the season. I said it a few minutes ago. Watch for the Briggs-Schmiedel combo down that right-hand side. We've seen him try it a couple of times, and it's the perfect combination. You've got the bloke with the best passing game in the comp, and you've got the best hole runner running onto him. That's going to be trouble for every single defence that this side comes up against for the rest of the season. And all of a sudden, despite what our scoreboard says, Macquarie are in front.
Oh, they are absolutely on fire. And we've only had 20 minutes of the match. Well, Josh Schmiedel came into this game with 5 tries. will adjust the scoreboard too. It's 16 points to 0. But look at this try in the corner, untouched all the way, Tom.
Yeah, that was a great little hold-up from Scott Briggs too. He showed the ball, looked like he was going to throw it out the back, which caused, I think it was Josh Charles to hit and just open up that hole for Josh Smeedle.
You could just see it from the first minute. You could just see that that was going to be a weapon for them. That first player, that first set that they had on the Lakes line, they went straight to Briggs and he put one straight onto Schmiedel. And I think it's just going to be a recurring thing for them, a real point of attack.
Absolutely. It's very hard to defend something like that when you've got someone with the speed and the size of Josh Smeedel. I wouldn't like to be in front of him.
So Thiessen Vivali Eli, or his family know him as Farvaeli. He'll go by both names, he told me earlier today. He's been called worse than both of those anyway, he said.
I just call him T.
We'll call him Mr. T, Tom.
Just T.
Mr. T?
I can't go wrong with T. I say T, he says yes.
That's all you need from a player.
And then I tell him to get onside because he's usually offside.
So Macquarie's leading point scorer. 38 goals this year. He's 2 points off cracking a century. Moves in, hits it, it's coming around, it's straightening up. Will it hit the post? No, just fades away to the left, so no change. 16 points to 0, 18 minutes to go in the first half.
Well, Lakes here, they've got themselves to blame for this. I mean, they've turned the ball over a couple of times cheaply. They've had a bit of soft defence up the middle, and Macquarie have punished them. And that's why it's 10 points to 6 Macquarie's way. We're having some scoreboard dramas here today. But, yeah, it's Macquarie 10, Lakes 6. And that's about right on the balance of the game.
So if you're a Scorps fan and you just tuned in, don't tune out because you're actually going very well.
Don't panic.
So 10 points to 6 here on the Benedict Recycling scoreboard. As Gallen hits it up to the 30-metre line. That's the 40-metre line you're about to go over, and that is Josh Schmiedel, the try scorer here. Dropped down there, of course, by Marcus Marsh and Hyde, giving it away to Gallen. Oh, what a shot. Welcome to Carl Oval.
Bit of a hospital pass to Ty Alchin there.
Look at this hit and run kick in the one move by Hyde. Banging it downfield, that's Goulmere.
Oh, great kick.
He's got to get out of his own 10. Tries to spin away there from Scotty Briggs, playing his first game in 12 months.
Yeah, Jamie Goulmere, he's spent a bit of time in reserve grade. I know he was there last week, and Lakes seem to be alternating between him and Cole Kennedy at the back. I got to tell you, I think Goulmere's unlucky not to be in first grade every week. When he has been there, he's looked very, very lively.
Just got a lethal swerve about him. When he just brings the ball back, he just manages to swerve around. And just, I'm guessing it'll be very hard to tackle.
So 3 in there from the Scorpions, combining in the tackle there of the 16, of course, that's Chance Burgess. Inside the 40 off the boot of Brad Murray. Drills it between the fullback and the winger. And over there, of course, is Matt Hay. And he's not going anywhere but into the ground, is he? Of course, collected there by Kelly. So who wants to take it for a run now? Matt Simon says, give it to me, and he'll run straight into Lyndon Hills. A scoop from dummy half sees them picking up 10, 12, 13 metres there. Just short of halfway. Hyde again. Gets it back to the left-hand side. Gee, they look good, don't they?
Jack Kelly read that well.
He did. Credit to Kelly. Referee, though, has also set a forward pass here, Tom.
Oh,
you don't know about that one?
No, that's a bit
Come
of a,
on.
I'm going to say that's a bit of a tough one. Well, it didn't stick out.
You're gone.
I had my eyes on that one, and it didn't stick out to me. But if that we're going to replay, or not, no replay.
That's your dinner gone.
Oh well, but
no, I must say it didn't stand out to me.
No.
I didn't see it and think forward pass either. But it's a potential turning point. Lakes with the ball now on the halfway line after having a lot of pressure directed their way.
So Josh Charles trying to put him into the ground. Finally, Simon Allen shoulders him into the ground. Now this is Marcel Ikanofo, sporting his new orange boots here this afternoon. We know he's a fan of the bright fluoro yellow ones. I don't know where they are. Maybe they're out of studs. Who knows? Is that a prolific try scorer in the Newcastle Rugby League? Murray juggles, regains. Will he offload? No.
Good option.
He kicks.
Very good option.
Where's the catcher? Barker. Oh, luckily, Simon, he drops back in his fluoro yellows and plays it back on his own 10-metre line.
Bit of International Champions Cup there.
yeah,
Good to
Pre-season
see.
stuff. Very nice.
Football in the sand. We got to love that. That's Chrissy Hyde again. What a revelation he has been for the Scorpions this year. Really gets them going. I guess, you know, he's that sort of classy player like your Adams, where he just finds the holes, finds the gap, and finds the meterage. Like that, back to Briggs. Now they look to offload, and they find Ty Alchin, and he runs straight into Dylan Harton and also Chance Burgess. Hyde again in a dummy half, looking for Gallen. It's came off the head there of D-Sacks. Back to Gallen, back to Simon.
Yeah.
He'll kick it off the left boot. He'll pump it downfield. That's Goulmere. He's got space in front of him, Goulmere, and he runs straight there into Adam Grew, who picked up one of the tries for Macquarie here today.
Well,
it's 10 points to 6 on the Benedict Race Recycling scoreboard.
Yeah, both sides just getting a little bit ratty in the middle of the park with their attack, just things coming a cropper a little bit. And I think it's probably because both the defences are coming up and really swarming and hitting hard, putting a lot of pressure on, just like that. Exactly. You can see they're coming up in a sort of reverse V. You know, the middle's coming up very fast, and then everybody else is lagging behind a bit. So as the game goes on, you might see the ball going out wide more and more.
The reason for that V, Morgan, I think, is we've got another penalty. Just holding too long again. I think JT's wanting to have this ruck speed very quick for the whole game, so just got to enforce those. But Morgan, as I was saying before, I think that V style is a tactical play, as if Lakes were to pass out wide, it just gives Macquarie that opportunity to retreat and slide and get their sliding defence happening so they can shut down the outside backs.
So that's Sullivan in a dummy half. He works it back to the right-hand side. Back there now it comes from Murray. He now finds Burgess, and he's cut down there by Gallen and also Adam Grew. Here come Lakes. It's Macquarie leading by 10 points to 6 here on the Benedict Wakes Recycling scoreboard. Marcel wants it. Marcel's got it. Ikanofo still going. He's dropped down there, of course, by Ty Alchin. He'll play the ball back now. Sullivan in a dummy half. Back to Kelly. He finds Murray. He goes short, and he finds Hoggets. And they're dropped down and collected there, of course, by Shamidal. He'll play the football back now. 8 metres away from the line. Sullivan in a dummy half. Gets it back to Murray. He'll kick. He's aiming for the post. He might not get the post. He might get a 7 instead, and that's Sumner, and he has to take it dead. This is quick. This is exciting. This is Newcastle Rugby League.
That is 120 on Adam Betridge's pulse radar.
I'd have thought so, but again, we see it. The kick was put through. Everybody knew it was coming, and they were in position to chase. And that was a close run thing. That could very, very easily have been another Lakes try. But for those kicks through and those set plays, they're very well organised.
So 10 points to 6 in favour of Macquarie.
We've got the shot clock on here, Pete.
As the ball goes straight downfield, Tommy, down to the halfway line. And who wants to bring it back? They're lining up at will. They're running straight into the defence of the Scorpions. And, of course, that's Kirtley Hodgetts. He'll play the ball back now. That's Sullivan starting off interchange bench. He finds Burgess. What a shot there from Gallen. He'll get up and play the ball now 20 metres away from the goal line. That's Sullivan again. Back to Murray. He finds Goulmere. He takes the line on. He finds Charles. Charles spins. He's still going. And he's dropped down there, of course, by Josh Shamidal. He'll play the ball back.
To put away,
is he? What? This game is exciting. This is like the National Rugby League. Back to Murray. Here comes the pass. Intercepted now.
I think he might be saying that Simon got the first touch to this.
He did there, Tom.
Geez, they've been let off there. I mean, Simon Allen's not the quickest, but he was on his own there. They were up quickly and breaking up the lines, trying to break up those set plays and that communication. But, we say about Josh Charles, he has got to be one of the hardest blokes in this competition to put away, either backs or forwards. It's very, very rare that you see him get the ball and he gets taken down by the first defender. He's a tackle bust machine.
So
Macquarie see them break off the scrum.
Yeah, they do there. Marcel is with it. Or is that Farker? That's Farker in 5.
Sullivan on, dummy half.
Yeah, Sullivan's on as well. That's Sullivan again, giving it away. Back then out of Hoggets. Hoggets is brought down 2 metres away from the line. 4-point ball game. Sullivan back. It comes down to Kelly. He's got Goulmere. Goulmere will score. Goulmere's over. Oh, they've gone to the front. 14-6. We could see that coming.
Well, I don't know why they dropped him to reserve grade. He's a real threat from close to the line. He, as Tom alluded to earlier, he's got that swerving running style. He's brisk and he's got a good step on him as well. And he gets close to the line there with defenders going backwards. Brad Murray held it up, finally threw the pass. And over they went. That's a great bit of play. And Lakes are going to find themselves all square here.
So this will make it
And then we had about a couple of minutes ago Josh Charles milking a penalty, and then he's probably asking the JT why wasn't it a penalty. JT's probably telling him because you're milking a penalty, and that's not how you get one.
And this is the replay again. Have a look at this. Brilliant work. Brilliant offloading game. Look at this run here by Hoggett. He went to the line.
Yeah,
and then
got them going backwards, Pete. I mean, from there, the defenders are retreating, and they get it out wide quickly, and Murray hold. And even though they had the numbers there, that momentum and the bit of pace from Jamie Goulmere carried him over the line. He's a first grader every day of the week.
Schmiedel was only off about a metre off the line then. I think that was because the play before, he went up really hard to shut down the play, but then they decided to take the tackle and get a quick play of the ball. So Schmiedel was still retreating to his line by the time the next play was happening. So I think that quick play of the ball shouldn't go unnoticed.
So Tom Taylor in our broadcast box. So back here, it is 10-all on the Benedict Race Recycling scoreboard. Sunday afternoon football, and they drill it well and truly deep inside the Seagulls territory. And Hoggett's on the bring back. He's collected there by Cantor, and Gallen finishes him off. Back there now it comes to Ikanofo. He runs straight into Adam Grew. Along there with Chris Hyde. Bashing and barging their way through the middle. Gallen has to stop. Chance Burgess, quick go forward here from Lakes. Gallen again in the tackle. Along there with another one of his players. Back there now from... Oh, hello. He's dropped the ball. Kick
Well,
the head. Play on. It will be toe on. Schmiedel.
We've got the advantage played here. 0 tackle.
That was quick thinking from Schmiedel. He wanted to get on with it. Now they're a big chance with the defence scrambling.
Oh, this is Randall Briggs in 18.
So Randall Briggs is in 18 from the Macquarie Scorpions, as it comes back there now to his brother, who turns it back on the inside to Adam Grew. He's dropped down there by Sullivan. Hyde again. Slow. Back there now to Hyde. He finds Briggs. Briggs goes one way. Now finds Schmiedel. He's after his second try. Couldn't quite come. That's Scott Briggs. We've got 3 Briggs brothers on the field. Of course, the family's 5. Back there now to the left-hand side. And then drop down there. That's Adam Grew. Put away there by Harton. Plays the ball back now as we see 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Back to Briggs. Out the back to Hyde. Tells Gallen to get out the way, but the referee has seen a tiny knock on there,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yeah, he's seen Macquarie knock it on into obviously one of the Lakes players, because it definitely didn't touch the ground.
Well, wasted opportunity there for Macquarie. Lakes again giving them the ball. They're just asking for pressure at the moment, Lakes.
Big overlap on that side if that play was to be continued. Got a lot of options, Macquarie, with the kicking. I can see about 6 players out there from Macquarie that are known kickers.
We mentioned earlier, Pete, about the troubles we were having with the scoreboard. Can I just say it wouldn't be a problem if Lakes had a scoreboard at the ground? I don't know how the premiers in the Newcastle Rugby League can have no scoreboard and no time clock. It's incredible.
It's up there. It's just turned off. I don't think it works.
Incredible.
You'd think there'd be regulations and
I thought
rules
so.
to stimulate that you needed a scoreboard at the ground. I don't know if it's a fact, but I'd like to find out if your ground does need to have a scoreboard.
Well, it causes a lot of consternation when a game is close and we don't know how long there is to go. That's always a bit of drama.
Well, the thing is, too, I mean, you know, you could add up the sums in your head, but I'd love to know if there's a clock around,
well,
too.
This is the issue.
That's the issue. Speaking of issues, have we got any out there at the moment? This game, it's, you know, bubbling along quite nicely. Sullivan, of course, he started off the interchange bench, goes to dummy half, fires it up there. Oh, Briggs is up quickly, but that creates an overlap out here. Josh Charles, he'll put the foot
Tackle
to the
bust
accelerator. And there it was, and Bywell knocks him into the ground.
He did well then to wrap that ball up.
Sullivan again. Back it comes this time to Murray. This kick's high. Doesn't have much distance. Where's Simon?
Great take.
That's him. What a catch.
He unfortunately also spent last week in reserve grade.
Yeah.
I think Joe Lighton was playing fullback for Macquarie. He's obviously pushed for his spot to get back up in the top grade, and he's proven his money there.
He's going to be a real live wire at the end of this game. These forwards are bashing the hell out of each other, and I'd have thought in the last 20 minutes there'll be a bit of space for someone who's a bit agile and quick like Matt Simon. He and Goulmere, the 2 number ones, could be a real problem late in the game.
Morgan, he'll snap you in half.
This is Briggs. Another guy that can easily snap you in half, but I think he's tried to snap himself in half there.
I'll give the rep a rap there. Player just trying to get up too quickly to play the ball and knocks it on. You often see those sort of things sort of devolve into penalties, but I think that was the right call. He was trying to get up too quickly. Yeah. He spilled it, and he should be more careful.
Andy Sumner's telling the ref now that he thinks that there was Lake's hands on it, and the referee's probably telling Andy Sumner that he probably should have had a Macquarie pair of hands on it.
Tom, what's the communication out there like amongst the referee and the touch judges these days? You're all able to hear each other these days?
Yeah, the referees are open mic, so the touch judges will be able to hear every word the referee says. The touch judges, however, have a set of buttons that they need to press in order if they wanted to communicate with the referee.
Tom Taylor communicating to the fans of the Newcastle Rugby League with the interpretations of this clash. That's Burgess! Still going chance. Brought down there, of course, by Grew. Sullivan turning it back to Hoggett. Adam Grew again. Sullivan to Murray. Murray looking for his 12 in Marsh.
Meadle saw that coming from a mile away.
12 points at 10
we got
here.
another one. Another lost ball.
Yeah, another lost ball there, Tom. Just in a pivotal moment of the ground and a pivotal moment of the match too, wasn't it? Not long to go before half-time.
Surprisingly scrappy, isn't it, Pete? I mean, both sides have turned it over a fair bit. Probably Lake's the worst of the two as far as handling goes, but both sides being more charitable than you'd expect in a game between first and second.
So at half-time, we'll have an interview with Justin Bumper Peterkin that we interviewed throughout the week, so stay tuned to Bar TV Sports. That's coming up at half-time.
Good bloke, Bumper.
Mate, 300th game. Impressive bloke, good all-rounder, isn't he? On and off the field.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
That's Hyde. Quick passing game. Gallen. This game has got the hallmarks of finals football. That's Hyde. Back then out of Subner. Simon. Dangerous. Quick. Nuggeting. Ooh. Sullivan there. Wraps him up. Quick go forward.
I think
Hyde.
I recognise the voice of Adam Bettridge there, blowing up about that lack of a penalty.
They're coming back on the infield. There's only a minute or so left in this match in the first half. So only 2 points in it here, the top of the table clash. Briggs goes himself. Great ball to Shamidal. He's got support. Varkas touched it. It's play on.
The ball's still
Could be
alive.
6 more tackles here, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. 6 more.
That's Grew now. He's tackled about 2 metres out from the line.
We've got a zero. Let's see.
Zero tackle. What's he going to say here? There is time. If they're good enough, they could possibly put more pressure on the home side. Charging forward now is Briggs. 70 seconds left in the first half. Back to Gallen. He finds Subner. They're short. They're dropped down now. Allen will get up and play the football.
Yeah, that had to be a penalty. Had to be a penalty.
What do they do here? Morgan, do they keep the pressure on?
Got to keep the pressure on.
Okay.
Got to get it wide. Put another try on.
They probably don't even know how long's left. They could think there's 5 minutes left. There's no scoreboard here.
So Adam Grew. Tom, he's only a metre out from the line.
He's over.
He's held up over the line.
No, you'll get him to go back.
Yeah,
you'll get him to go back.
Told him that. There's the finger pointing from Taylor.
Yep.
Told him to go back and play it back.
There's about a minute left.
Ken Lakes, hang on here. Back to the left-hand side of the
Good
park.
step.
Subner.
Now
intercepted now
against
by
the
the
run of play,
Seagulls. Here's a race. We've got the Olympics coming up, but the Olympics may have come to Belmont. This is Ikanofo. What a run down inside their own half. Here come Lakes. It's one end of the field to the other. Back to Kelly. He finds Murray. Out wider. Here's Gulmere. He links up now with Varka. Back to Charles. Charles has got Varka. He goes himself. He'll look to offload. He's still going. What a run. What great Newcastle Rugby League here.
20 seconds left.
That's Varka. Back to the right-hand side. Murray. Ooh. He cuts out 5. He offloads it back to Kelly. He goes himself. He's still going. He's brought down. Last 2 metres out. What a fast, furious game of Newcastle Rugby League. They go close. They're going to be bashing and barging the hell out of this.
We might get one more play the ball.
Back then out of Sullivan, Tommy. He works it back to the right-hand side. The crowd want to try. And the crowd's going to get it. Jamie Gulmere. He sets the place on fire.
A bit of pace close to the line, Pete.
Oh, what great rugby league!
Isn't rugby league a sensational game?
That was against the grain, that one.
That was outstanding. I mean, Macquarie were throwing the kitchen sink at Lakes up one end of the field. They throw one errant pass out the back. Ikanofo's off like a shot, 40 metres up the field. And then within 3 plays, Lakes had enough wherewithal to keep going wide, keep throwing something at them. And finally, Jack Kelly holding it up, and finding Jamie Goulmere, who, as I said, is absolutely a first-grade player. And coming at pace there, he was no chance of getting stopped.
Good play, that one.
And Lakes against the run of play, against the run of the first half, as we see on the replay.
This play is very good. We call this on a splitter. So Goulmere's just roaming around on the inside. Oh, no, this is the play before.
This is Kelly running into space. And then they decided to go the one forward bash up the middle. You could see even here that Macquarie was short out wide. You can see that's Andrew Sumner there. He's only 5 yards in from the goalpost. He's the third defender in from the wing, so they had to be short.
Goulmere's on.
And as they went this way, look at him hold it up. That's beautiful. Kelly had to cop a whack there. He ends up on his back, but he ends up with the 4 points for Jamie Goulmere as well.
Well, we've been calling Newcastle Rugby League on Bar TV for 3 years, but I've got to say that has to be the best live stream passage of play that we have seen from one end of the field to the other. Great Newcastle Rugby League. Now,
Mind you of
Murray.
anything, Pete? Bit of State of Origin, game 3.
Is it what? Let's start our own series. Here's Murray. Can he convert the try? He can. He adds the extra icing on the cake. What a match. What a clash. And this is the best we've seen in a long time.
I think Macquarie and Lakes will play each other again in round 15, so this is a bit like our State of Origin game too. First one was a draw.
Don't get me started on the draw. Tom, don't get me started on the draw. We'll be here all day.
Well, reserve grade's only 2 in it.
We go into the break. It's 14-12. Lakes have got the lead here, and you'd have to say, I mean, having absorbed all that pressure and then scored those points, they deserve it. But this is going to be a big second half.
I wouldn't mind a draw, Morgan. I wouldn't mind a draw because I did call a draw at the start. So.
Oh, well, there you go.
Fantastic.
Wonder what that's playing on Sportsbet.
Alltopbetter.com.au. You never know. Well, what we might do throughout the week, we went up to... where did we go throughout the week? We went somewhere, Mount Thorley. It was up Singleton Way, and we caught up with Justin Bumper Peterkin. Here's that chat. He celebrates his 300th game in Newcastle Rugby League today against Central. We'll come back for the second half. Don't go anywhere. Lakes leading by 14 points to 12. When it comes to big names. Games in the Newcastle Rugby League. This man right here, Justin Bumper Peterkin, is certainly one of them. And last week he played his 299th match, and now 300 this weekend. What an achievement, mate! Can you believe it's already 300?
No, I didn't believe it was going to come. It was a long time ago now when I actually started playing footy, so it took a little while to come around. But yeah, not many people get to do it, and I'm pretty excited to get it over and done with and just keep going for the rest of the season. Yeah, of course. I mean, rugby league, I mean, you didn't start off playing rugby league. You played a few sports growing up? Yeah, I'm a soccer goalkeeper by trade, I suppose you could call. I played soccer from under 6s right through to under 16s. Yeah, goalkeeper. Wasn't working out really well in that. I hold a few records in the Western Bears Youth League, as it was back then, of most goals conceded. We had... around the 80 goals scored in a season in 14 games against us, so it was pretty fair hiding. That's probably where my bad back stems from, picking the ball out the back of the net all the time. But, bit of a rough ground too, Western. Yeah, it was there. It was definitely up there, but yeah, I wasn't allowed to. Mum wouldn't let me play football until I was 16, so once I got through that, the boys at school got me playing footy. The rest is history, I suppose. So. Was it hard to twist your mum's hand for you to go from the round ball to the rugby league ball? Yeah, she wasn't real keen on me going across at the start, but yeah, once we sort of got her into that, yeah, everything will be all right, and got me across it. Yeah, it's been all good, and it actually I paved the way for my younger brother too, I suppose, that he was allowed to play football at a lot younger age once she's seen that it was all good. So, mate, is it true that you made grade at Curry in the 18s or the 19s? Is that where it all started? Yeah, it was a bit funny back then. We went from 18s, which was juniors, up to grade, which was because I was the young age, I was in grade in under 18s. Then we went back to under 19s in juniors, and then back to grade again in under 19s again. So it's sort of a bit chop and change, but yeah, it was a bit different at the start, playing with young boys and that, and then to go up and be playing grade and seeing how the big boys train. Back then it was like Crowe was captain coach, and a few of those other guys were around, so it was a bit of an eye opener.
Can you remember your first game for the blue and white?
I vaguely remember. Everyone says you remember your first grade debut, but I honestly don't. I think it was against the Bay, and I was a 18, 19-year-old front row playing against the likes of Kurt Lawton and those types of guys, Clayton Witten, and a few of the other big boys that the Bay had at the time. So yeah, it was a pretty good introduction into first grade with the big boys.
A lot of people outside of the Newcastle Rugby League, you know, they know you as a Bumper Peterkin. Tell everybody how the word bumper came about.
Yeah, well, that stemmed from the soccer days when I was back. I think it was about under 7s or 8s or something like that. A great man by the name of Jack Turnbull. A lot of soccer people would know Jack. He was quite a good player for the Western Bears back then, and he was our coach. And because I was a lot bigger than all the other kids, I used to knock them off the ball, hence the bumping them off the ball, and got the bumper bar and the like. And it's just stuck for all these years.
Great name.
Yeah, it works out right. It works out right, and yeah, with the body size and the shape, I suppose.
Mate, of course, over the years too, I mean, you've seen a lot at the Curry Bulldogs, but you've picked up many achievements. Let's just go through a few. 3 or 4 player awards? Yeah,
a couple of player awards, a few in first grade, a couple in third grade, out in the early days, and got a couple of those. Player of the year for the whole club in, not sure what year that was. Scobby was coaching us that year, and that was back when Daniel Doyle and I played 6 games in 2 weeks. We played all 3 grades 2 weeks straight because we were just short of numbers, and that's polled a few points in those couple of days to pip him and get the award that year. So
awesome achievement just in itself, eh?
Yeah, well, it was just one of those things you did back in those days. You had to, because we were just sort of that line on for players, and I think any opportunity that you had to play footy, you took it with both hands. Or if it had to be 3 games in one day, then it had to be that way. So
yeah, definitely. Let's go back to the 2013 Newcastle Rugby League. Grand final, Curry versus Wests. Memories of that day?
I think the whole week was just, I know you hear the professionals talk about the week. It was a pretty special week. We ended up having a signing day down at the ground where they come up the old boys ground, and they were lined up from the old boys shed all the way back out to the front gate, just waiting for autographs and on t-shirts. So it was just one of those things, and you'd walk around up the street and they'd be grabbing you saying, "Oh, good luck," and the signs and bringing back the heyday. The red, white and blue bread was certainly a thing. I've been a youngster back in the early days, and they did it all. You knew the bread was out there, but you couldn't remember it. So it was
and I remember the old butchers also got in. He was doing the blue and white sausages and everything. Everyone got involved.
We didn't get the sausage. We didn't get the sausages this time around. It was just the bread. But yeah, I was happy enough to get that. But it was It was one of those things that I remember for the rest of my life. It was unfortunate we didn't get the win on the day and send Regan, Jesse and George and all the other boys out as winners, but it was just it was still a great experience.
Would you say that may be your most treasured memory of the club, that grand final week?
Yeah, I'd say it'd probably have to be. Yeah, it's one of those things that you. I played 300 grade games this week and made 1 grand final, so I'm lucky to have made 1. Some people don't ever get to make 1, so I'm happy I've made 1.
You know, rugby league, it's very fierce. We all know that. No doubt over your playing career, you would have come up with a few players that maybe you've played with or against that were fierce, that were hard. Who has been your hardest opponent, do you think, over the years at Curry?
I've always said Scobby was one of the best to play with and one of the worst to play against, because he can pull off a shot and nail you. All the other blokes, I suppose, going back the Curry Cessnock days, when I first sort of come into grade, had the likes of Kane Bradley be putting them towering bombs up and be niggling you the whole time. Nabby playing hooker was one of the best as well at getting under your skin and keeping you going. Ryan.
So 8-point ball game here on Sunday afternoon football. Josh Charles in 3. Grew over the top. Sullivan, little ball. Was it helped or was it just
That's a
knock on.
Knock on, Tom?
Yeah, mate, I'm happy with the knock on there because while Chris Hyde may have had his hand in there, he did make sure that he didn't touch the ball and wasn't interfering with the play the ball, and I think he's just spilled it. I think he's just trying to play the ball too quick.
You happy with that, Morgan?
Yeah, I think that's about right. It's the same thing, you know, the speed and the play the ball is everything in the game now, and players, I guess, are coached to get up, bounce to their feet, and straight away try and play the ball. And that's well and good, but every now and again it comes a cropper like we've seen there, and if you're going to go for that extra speed, you take that risk. Yeah,
I've run lines a lot for JT, and he says the same thing at the toss every time. You have a responsibility to play the ball. If you mess it up, he's not going to do anything for you.
So it's Varvielli banging everything. Macquarie's leading point scorer today. Down by 8, though, on opposition soil. Both of these sides will meet each other in a few weeks' time, heading into the semi-final series. Hyde again. He'll kick. He can do everything.
Now, question of a late shot here on Chris Hyde as he kicked that. It doesn't sound like John Taylor's going to do anything about it. There are a few howls from the crowd. I didn't quite get a look at it, but just shows that they're trying to put a bit of pressure on these kickers here today. It's very physical out there, as you can see, with that big hit up there from Marcus Marsh.
Captured well by the veteran in Blake Gallen. Penalty.
Oh, crowding.
Now then.
Repeated infringement here. Blake Gallen, obviously, he'll get a talking to. Been penalised a couple of times. This one was just for not stepping back. He's the marker. He isn't the mark, so he's got to step back and allow to play the ball.
Well, he's talking to Andrew Subner. At the moment, the 7, the captain. What do you think he's saying to them now, Tom?
Oh, he's just probably talking to Andy about the growing penalty count. He's probably aware that he's penalising Macquarie a fair bit early in this second half, and he's just telling him to cut it out.
So if you're the referee in this sort of game, I mean, on the one hand, you've gone out there and you're obviously trying to tell them, I want a clean game in the middle of the park, I want a quick ruck. The players aren't giving it to you. It's 45 minutes into the game. He's still having to blow a lot of penalties. It's still very scrappy. I mean, what do you do at that point? Do you either give up on it and say, if you want a slow game, you can have one? Or do you say, well, I'm going to bin someone? What do you do?
Well, we have a bit of a scaffold. We start with the penalties, and then, as you can see, JT's there. We stop the game. We bring out the captain and possibly even the person being penalised repetitively, and we just give them a warning saying, look, if you're not going to clean this up, the sin bin will come into play. And obviously, if they continue to give away penalties, then the sin bin will come into play.
So in other words, the scaffolding sort of gets a little bit shaky, and then that results in the 10th in the sin bin.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. There you go. Referees and scaffolding. It's all together here. I wouldn't have put them two together, but I like it. I like the analogy. I like this try. I like the try.
Oh.
As Muhammad Ali said, well, Bert Newton might have said to Ali, I like the boy.
No, it's unfortunate. Scott Briggs was front on, ready to make that tackle. Been playing very good, Scott Briggs, in his first game back, but just let that one slip through his fingers. Who did score that one?
It was the 16 there. It was, Chance Burgess, I think, who strolled through there. Unless I'm very much mistaken.
Yeah, Chance Burgess.
Just ran a good line and got over a bloke that was a bit smaller than him. And all of a sudden, Lakes are going to be out to potentially a 14-point lead here. It doesn't feel like that sort of game, but it shows you how important, as we see the replay here, it's just Chance Burgess. Good short ball, left it as late as possible and just trampled over a couple.
I'll just take this time to apologise to Scott Briggs. It was not him.
Looks like
who missed the tackle.
It was
unfortunately, it was Smeedle. He just must have caught himself a little bit flat-footed. Sorry about that, Scotty.
Hitting at a good pace, though. But it shows you how important that passage of play was just before half-time. I mean, you think of how this game could have gone. I mean, Macquarie could have been in front going into half-time, and then they could have had a chance to go further in front with that tap kick up here. Instead, Lakes have got the ball. They've not only scored before half-time, but they've now gone bang-bang after it.
There's a good possibility, Morgan, that Josh Smeedle may have been flat-footed because Adam Bettridge may have spoken to them at half-time about Brad Murray's putting in the little grubbers. So Macquarie might have been expecting a little grubber, but were delivered a short ball.
The crowd's just turning around here to Morgan Campbell, asking him the score. Morgan?
24-10.
What would you tell the crowd?
I would tell the crowd 24-10.
24-10. So Bar TV, not just calling the football today, but we're also doing our public service announcing.
Bit of mathematics, my friend.
Big crowd in here today too, as you'd expect for the top of the table clash. Over 1,000 people in here at Carl Oval. And certainly these sides, they'll be in the mix in the semi-final series. Of course, this is a replay of the grand final last year. Both of these sides met back in round 6 as well. 24-all draw when they last met about 8 weeks ago.
Well,
just on that, I think in the grand final you'll find last year that about this time during the game, I think Macquarie were up by 14. Was it 18-4? And Lakes came back to win. So this game, Lakes are up by 14.
40-20. 40-20.
He's nailed it.
Oh.
What a kick. A 40-20. Listen to the crowd.
It's not actually.
No?
It's not a 40-20. It's about a 49. It's an absolute beauty. And it's going to put them on the attack from a tap kick, only about 8 or 9 metres out. Outstanding.
It'll be 10
Brad
out.
Murray just turning the game there with a kick like that. They've got all the momentum here, Lakes, and now they can really kick clear. This is going to be really interesting because Macquarie, they haven't had a lot of these situations this year. They've got to fight back. We know Lakes can fight back from a deficit in a big game. Let's see if Macquarie can.
So they take the tap and get it going forward. Josh Charles, he says, I'd love a try against Macquarie. Couldn't quite come on that occasion. Sullivan cuts out Hoggett. They come out wider. Where it goes now to Goulmere.
No.
He's lost it. Tommy
Play on here.
picked up now
Ball.
by Allen. Intercepts
This will
on.
still be
Ball's on
play
the
on.
ground. Could be play
Yeah,
on.
and
What's he
now
going to
it's
do,
not.
Taylor?
We'll have a scrum feed to Macquarie here. First infringement goes to, I think it was Goulmere.
Yeah.
Well,
Spilled the ball. We're giving him a rap too.
I've been rapping Goulmere all afternoon. It was inevitable that he'd spill the ball. Morgan. Sorry, mate.
Oh, we love it.
Anyone else you want to give a rap, Morgan? Hopefully not my commentary.
I reckon West are specials against Cessnock today.
Still getting over the 19 score. West
have any,
absolutely flogged. What was it? 78 points to 0. We'll try and get a few updates from around the grounds too when we can. We've got our spies in all parts of Newcastle today.
I can tell you now, viewers, if you're watching this and you don't want to know the scores because you want to watch them on Bar TV later, just sort of rub the sides of your head for a minute or take your earphones out or whatever because I'm about to tell you, right? I'm giving you a minute, right? Central lead Curry, 12 points to 6. Wow. That would be a huge upset and cause a lot of consternation in the middle of that table. And Cessnock lead West.
Might have a penalty
10.
here.
Cessnock lead West 10 points
penalty.
to 6.
Sorry, Morgan. We've just got the ball being stripped out of Simon Allen's grasp. Touch judge here, the young Brett Ives, giving the JT a bit of a heads up on that one. And I fully agree with him there. Good call.
I love what Morgan said. I love how he's got his spies positioned all around town. He said to the viewers, I'll give you a minute. Then 13 seconds later, he gives everybody the score.
Well, no. Just fair warning. Fair warning, that's all. Now, we're not mentioning those scores again now.
I think he meant moment. I'll give you a moment because that can mean anything.
That's Gallen. He wants a moment.
Oh.
Who's looking for the moment? Briggs. He's trying to come up with a man of the match moment here. Not deny. Oh, he's 14 metres away. Back there now to his other number 8, and that is Isaac Briggs. It's a Briggs-a-thon here today. 2 metres out. Well, Macquarie, they need to strike back. It's their chance now. Can they do it? Hyde, back to Gallen. Here's a run around.
Oh,
Here's a
great ball.
chance. Cantor. Hayes in. Hayes scores.
That's a great play.
Great try too, Tom.
Excellent.
Great execution on the line, Morgan Campbell.
Well, it's a sign of a good team. I mean, they're under pressure here, Macquarie. They've just had things go against them the last 10 or 15 minutes of this game, and yet they get a chance, and they put a beautiful training ground move on straight away, crisp, through the hands, everybody running the right lines at the right time, and they find a try to get themselves back into it. It's a sign of a team that are pretty switched on and aren't going to, wilt under pressure.
I think the icing on the cake there was the pass from Andy Sumner to Nathan Cantor. A perfect pass to a perfect line, just got on the outside of, I think it might have been Marcel Icanofo. Just had to turn and chase, and just Cantor had him for speed every day of the week.
Look at that passing game. And Kyle Kennedy was trying to do his best out here on the wing. But just have a look at this, and we'll stop it here and we'll slow it down. But lovely hands. Lovely hands. And then there you go. Try time. Bang. Over they go.
That's a risky take.
So it's 24 points to
14.
14 now on the Benedict Waste Recycling scoreboard. We've seen some points here this afternoon, but we've seen some absolute belters of a try. The highlights packages will be action-packed today.
I tell you what, Pete, there's no chance of any of us winning a Fields medal, that's for sure. There's no mathematicians up here. We're struggling big time without the scoreboard.
Listen to the crowd.
Just some polite encouragement here for Tyson Favielli.
Listen to the crowd. The crowd tell you the story. He's bringing it back around, but the crowd put him off. An intimidating atmosphere here at Carl Oval. No more intimidating than a kick from the touchline. But we've got a ball game here. 14 minutes down in the second half. It's 10-point ball game. Don't go anywhere. Right here on Sunday afternoon football. You're with Peter Jolly, Tom Taylor, and the ever-impressive calculations of Morgan Campbell as Murray gets us back underway. And get involved in the action too. Work your fingers along to Twitter and tweet in your thoughts. If you've got a question for Tom, a question for Morgan, or a question for anybody here today.
I mean, Tom's a referee. What are people going to ask me?
Maybe what sort of headpiece you're wearing today. But I guess they probably can't see that. Maybe we'll have to put a photo up and encourage reacting. Yes. As the ball
what do you look for in a woman, Morgan?
Well,
where to begin?
Go all day. Yeah.
Now, you may notice there, Pete, Matt Simon, just to talk about rugby league for a moment.
A man.
Matt Simon
with a great voice.
That's
getting the ball in the middle of the
up.
park and making a bit of a run into space there. We're going to see more and more of that. I think they're going to look for him making those runs up the middle as the forwards get tired towards the end of this game.
Look at this catch.
No.
It's been bobbled.
We've got an
Let's
advantage
play
here.
on. Back to Briggs.
We'll have a scrum feed to Macquarie here. We've got an accidental offside.
I'm getting excited. Tommy, you're
I
getting
am
excited. Too. Morgan, are
I'm
you
always excited. Yeah.
Oh.
That's what the women tell me too.
Pete's on the ball here today.
I'm saying nothing. I'm not going to engage in this sort of lowbrow.
It's highbrow football and it's highbrow conversation. That's why the three of us are all in the box together.
Excuse Pete Jolly as he opens his new can of whoop-ass.
Look at this on the replay. This will get us out of trouble.
So
Not
just
so much the fullback out of trouble there. Look at
been
that.
cursed ever since we praised him. Big chance here for Macquarie.
Oh,
Okay, let's stick with the action here.
that's Canor.
Nathan.
Claims of a lost ball. I think he's still got it.
That's Chris Hyde. Looking around. Looking out the back to Vivali Eli.
Just keep an eye. You just see him go through the screen there. Matt Simon. He's going from both sides of the field, just looking for an opportunity.
Hyde, dangerous from dummy half.
He hasn't done that much today, Chris Hyde.
Fans, of course, know what Chris Adams used to do in a similar position. Back to Gallen. Only 2 metres away. 10-point ball game. Are they about to bridge the gap closer? They'll kick. They'll chase. They're coming through. There's an error in goal. And Kennedy takes a dead Tom. Goal line dropout.
I know they're going to get a goal line dropout here, but I've got to tell you, I don't know that was the play. They had Simon coming up into the line. They had the numbers, and they had the Lakes defenders going backwards. It wasn't last tackle. I'd like to have seen them go through the hands there because it was on.
You reckon they could have barged their way over the line, Morgan? Barged.
So what a kick. It's gone 45 metres and picked up over there by Varvielli.
Turned a bit of a very good drop kick then. Playing the ball for the first tackle after a line dropout, 42 out.
So this game, it's certainly warming up. And it needs to. Absolutely freezing conditions here on the lake. I'd say it'll only be about 11 degrees as Briggs turns it on the heat.
Nice, that's great.
Allen down inside the 20. Here they come again. Macquarie. Are they coming back with a roll? Hyde goes out wide. Finds Sumner. Lovely tackle.
Great shutdown from Lakes defence there.
Harden it was there, Tom. Back there now to Hyde. Goes himself. Looks up. Supports there. Hayes close. Hayes only a metre away.
Nathan Cantor might have been walking around in back play because he wasn't expecting that one.
So Hyde again out the back door to Sumner. He now finds Briggs. Briggs sending Simon's gone without it. Referee calls this one up, Tom.
Oh, you just score a handover. We'll just stop. Give 10 seconds to everyone catch their breath.
Well, they're looking for him, aren't they? That was Simon back on the inside, but just didn't quite get the timing right. You mentioned earlier, Tom, he was in reserve grade this year. He hasn't been a regular in first grade throughout the season. And it's not unexpected that he might not, especially with Briggs being the 5'8", it's his first game. It's not unexpected that they might not quite have their timing right. But if they do get it right, Lake's defence are going to have to face some questions.
Barker running, offloading. That's Josh Hayes. Eventually taking the tackle there of Noble and Gallen. Sullivan again. They come up the middle of the field. That's Chance Burgess. Strong, hard, determined, willing. Drop down there from Varvey Eli. 10-point ball game. Sunday afternoon rugby league. D-Sacks. Straight into Chris Hyde. Sullivan. Kelly kicking. Where's Simon position? Position right on the screen in the middle of it. Coming across field here, Tom, before he finds the shoulder of Chance Burgess.
Yeah, I think Matty Simon's looking to employ his sidestep, but I think maybe due to all this sand on the field, it might make things a bit difficult for him. You saw he's trying to go off his right foot when he was bringing the ball back, but he sort of just buckled his knees a little bit. Oh, there it is.
Bit bunched up here, Macquarie. Forwards just getting a bit leggy by the looks of things, because there's about 10 of them in about a 10-metre space.
Just saw that close-up there. Scott Briggs sort of reminds you a bit of a Mal Meninga type pad on that arm.
Okay, as Hyde. We'll go around the ground shortly for everybody that is interested in our other fixtures today.
Very slow play the ball there.
Yeah, that was slow, that one.
Briggs.
Might have been a bit of a milk.
Cuts
He's
out
running
one.
it on the last.
Pywell kicking.
Against the grain again.
Picked up now by Varka. And now here's a foot race. Varka.
They need to get him out here.
They're collaring him and trying to fling him into touch. Referee here says played on. So back to Charles.
This could be a strip.
Well, Hyde's after the ball,
Not a strip.
Tom, but just couldn't get it off him, could he? 2 metres in.
I think if Varka might have got up to play the ball a little bit quicker, they might have got the penalty, or they might have got a quick play the ball. I don't know what he was. He just stood up and he was just taking his time for some reason.
So that's Sams underneath to Macquarie Scorpions. That's Murray. Away it comes now to Kelly. Out the back now to Gulmere. He steps. He
Great
weaves.
tackle.
The crowd up off their feet as demonstrated there. Now he's just lost that. Playing cold. And the referee agrees. Hear the boos. They don't like it. Hear the local.
Now I'm backing him in again there. Same story. That was Gulmere again, just getting up a bit too quickly. And, Gulmere again. Don't mind that. But, yes, it's a fair decision, I think. There, it's not the first time we've seen it today. The players are very eager to get on with things. And on that occasion, just a bit too eager. And lets Macquarie off. 24-14. Still a quarter of the game to go. This is generally the part of the game where Lakes are the strongest. So Macquarie are going to need to find twice the effort here.
So around the ground still at half-time, in case you're interested in those scores. Cessnock leading West by 10-6 and Central over Curry by 12-6, and back here it was 18 points to 10 at half-time. Now that score, of course, is blown out to 24 points to 14 with about 20 minutes remaining in the match. As we see now, Simon Allen, he runs straight into the defensive structure of Sean Boss. Hyde looks up, props it out the back to Gallen, back to Hyde, now to Briggs, out wide, now to Vivali Eli. He's got support. There's the support.
Schmidl on the wing.
Oh, Schmidl, what's he doing out there? He wait, playing wing, throws a long pass away to Cantor, and they've blown it. Well, they may not have blown it, but I want to know what's Schmidl doing out on the wing.
I don't know. It's like Manu Vadavoy out there.
They'll be calling him Josh Seagull next week. Dear oh dear. But what was doing with the pass? He's thrown a 30-metre bullet cutout pass on second tackle.
Maybe he should stay on the wing.
Nathan Cantor didn't know whether to catch it or pass out. That was a remarkable bit of play. But I've got to tell you, a bit of a wasted opportunity. I mean, even if Schmidl gets tackled there, they would have had Lake scrambling and would have had big numbers on the other side of the field.
Only one-on-one. I think Schmidl could have scored that.
Well, there's also that. I think that's the worst possible outcome. And again, another great chance.
Well, we look for moments in rugby league, and that was a moment.
Big push in the scrum.
Another moment here too.
Nothing wrong with that. You don't see that very often.
No, that's a good time for it, though. I mean, usually you only see it in the last 10 minutes of a game when a side's pushing for a result. So to do it unexpectedly like that's a real option.
As the play now comes outside the 30-metre line. This is Marcel losing the ball.
Play on.
Marcel's lost the football, so we'll capture this moment now because we may see the four-pointer if they can get it together.
Okay,
Hyde.
so that was a zero tackle, so it must have been a knock-on instead of a one-on-one strip.
Ikanofo, he had a fair bit of trouble with his hands last week. He lost about 3 in a row in the last 20 minutes of the game.
Oh, yeah.
That's Gallen boy stepping, looking around.
Most notably, Ikanofo dropped it coming off his own line. Curry
Yeah.
kicked ahead
Oh,
and scored the winning try.
They've nearly dacked
That was a
him
bit
there.
of scramble, wasn't it?
That was Hyde giving it away to Alchin. 10-point ball game. The Scorpions 2 metres away. Back to the right. Briggs.
Good ball.
Good ball.
Good read,
Good
good
tackle
read.
too. Vivali Eli. Great read by Charles and Murray in defence. 10 metres in from the eastern touchline. They'll get up and play the ball. Where is Briggs? They cut out Briggs on that occasion. They give it a Swaddling. He gets the legs pumping and takes the Scorps to be tackled 8 metres away from the
up for a
Lakes
play
line.
now.
Hyde again, finds Briggs. Briggs kicking into the end goal
at
area.
the
Simon's
Simon.
flying through, but I think, Tommy, they'll take it dead.
Yeah, I'll take a dead. Goal line dropout.
Goal line dropout, Mr. Campbell.
Well, we said it in the first half. In years gone by, you might have seen Macquarie throw 17 offloads and try and bash their way over and, try and score going an all-or-nothing play. But on that occasion, just rolled it in, get another 6 tackles, see what they can come up with now. It's if they score here, they can really set up the grandstand finish. They've had the better of this period since Lake scored their most recent try.
So the crowd. The majority, of course.
Jack Kelly getting a bit of treatment on screen. I think he caught one in the ribs. I don't know where, but he was holding his ribs before.
There he is there on screen. Trainer just gives him a slap on the back. Say, do your best in the last 15 minutes. What a
Good
kick by
kick.
Murray. Sends it 55 metres on the fly. And bringing it back is Swaddling. And he makes good ground as well for Macquarie. Brought it back 15 metres from where they collected the ball. Hyde wants a penalty. Didn't come off the whistle of Taylor. Gives it back then out of Shamidal. He runs straight and hard into 3 Seagulls, but they hold him up in the tackle. Back to Hyde. He's got Gallen on his left. Gallen now playing 5'8". Got it
very
away to
nice.
Allen. He's got
The
support.
short ball.
Juggled.
Oh.
Marcel's got to go away.
That is unfortunate.
Well, Marcel was the first man close to the football, but he wasn't the first
Ooh.
man to come away with a little bit of heavy stuff here.
This is
Coming
a
up
sloppy
from
ruck
the
here.
captain in Subner. Crowd not liking it, but nothing much in it. Just good old-fashioned rugby league. It's rough, it's tough, just what we like. Traditional rugby league. If that was the National Rugby League, we probably would have had a penalty as we come back out of the 30-metre
Don't
line.
get me started on the National Rugby League.
Oh,
That's
exactly.
3 in a row, though, isn't it, Pete?
Yeah.
That's 3 times in a row that Macquarie have been up here and wasted an opportunity. They
On the-
can't keep doing it.
Has it been on the same side, Morgan?
Yeah,
Down this
but-
left edge?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Inside the 40.
Inside the 40, they want to get out of jail, but it's going to go into touch. Well, Ryan Bywell there just said, okay, well, I'll
thought he
just
could
see
have
this
played
go.
it, man.
I thought he
could
might have
just-
had the option to pick it up there,
Yeah.
Tom. But
That
not
gives
the
Lakes
case.
a breather now.
Not the case. So there's Briggs on screen. What a match. Although they're down by 10, he hasn't played rugby league in quite a number of months.
I'm
You wouldn't
keeping
have
an eye on
expected, sir.
just keeping an eye on Adam Bettridge, who's up in the grandstand here. I would describe his demeanour as tense.
Tense.
Tense. Yep.
Write that down.
Well, he did say at the beginning of the week that this is the biggest game that he's going to be coaching.
Ooh. What we got here?
Those penalties seem to have disappeared. Tom, I don't know if you've noticed that, but it seems as though both sides now are still doing a lot of work in the play of the ball, but we're not seeing quite so much penalising from the referee.
While I may be sometimes expecting it, I do like to remind myself that the referee out here has refereed about 300 more games of first grade than me. I think he's sitting on about 320 and I'm sitting on about 20.
Hyde. Showed right, went left. Subner.
This is deep.
Deep or right,
Oh.
where's Kennedy? Goulmy is in traffic. Goulmy is in trouble. Goulmy has done a somersault, but he's back into the field of play. How good was that?
Don't give him a rap, Morgan.
I'm saying nothing.
Don't.
I'm never going to give. I'm never giving another footballer credit again.
Worst one's with the goal kicker.
Yeah.
Telling me how good of a kicker he is.
Oh, this is heavy stuff in the middle of the field here at Carl Oval.
Yeah, we're in the championship rounds now.
Don't you love it? What have we got left?
About 15 minutes, I think, Pete. Yeah, I think about 15.
15 grueling,
So Macquarie-
nail-biting minutes left.
Yeah, Macquarie are close enough if good enough here, but they've just got to put one of those set plays together.
So that's the 40-metre line where they'll play it back. That's Murray inside 40.
Oh, spiralling kick this one. This will be hard to take.
Spiralling kick,
And-
Tom.
Yeah, oh, that was
Oh, Simon's got support too, and just gives it away to Pyle. Look at that defence again. It's heavy, it's tough.
I've just noticed how bright Simon's boots are now.
They are
Just
very
as we
bright.
start to get a bit darker during the night. Glow in the dark.
Mate, it all started a few years ago with a bloke at Central Newcastle. You might remember him, Chris Mulborough.
Oh,
He had
Chris.
the brightest yellow boots ever.
Yeah, he did. He did.
And now, all of a sudden, everyone's wearing them as high.
He
It
sort of
scoots
fell
from
off.
dummy half. He picks
Oh,
up Simon.
Morgan,
He's
you
down
called it
inside
late in the
40.
game. He's got some space.
Briggs has
Yeah,
just
penalty.
pushed.
Got to be a penalty.
Gotta be a
Should have
shout of a
been
binning
push.
here.
Well, the crowd can blow up all they
Oh,
want.
I'm gonna
'cause I
say-
think he's got it right there.
I'm
the
going to
ref.
say I'm happy with no bin.
Well, they want to get on
And
with it.
That's only because there's still 35 out from the try
So
line. If that was 5 out,
Yep.
yeah, bin.
Simon
10 out.
Allen.
10 out also a bin, but yeah, too far out to bin that.
11 minutes to go here. How many tackles has Simon Allen busted today? Dear, oh dear. They can't lay a glove on him.
Back to Adam Grew. 10 minutes to go on the Benedict Waste Recycling scoreboard. Briggs. Sumner. Is there a
Oh,
chance?
good short ball.
There's a chance, all right. There's a try from the chance. And Nathan Cantor.
That's been a long time coming, that one.
There's
he
the
gets
set play.
Macquarie back in the match.
That's what they needed to do. They've been threatening that and threatening that. At some point, one of those set moves had to come together. They had to get all the moving parts going in the one direction. They've done it there, and now they're a big chance. They're 6 points behind. They could be 4 points behind, and they've got 10 minutes left to chase this game with the wind at their back, metaphorically, if not literally.
I think a couple of half breaks there from Simon, and just got Lakes' defensive line on their back foot and just allowed Cantor to just easily get through a big hole.
See on the replay here, they've got a lot of players coming at them. You see, those defenders, they've got to worry about Simon around the back.
Yeah.
They've got to worry about Sumner coming straight, or Briggs, was it Sumner? No, it was Sumner coming straight at them, and they've got Cantor flat at the line, and Simon Allen as well.
yeah.
So that's a really good set move.
The
That's the sort
presence
of thing.
Simon there, you can't help but just think Simon's going to get it around the back.
It's the sort of thing the Melbourne Storm used to do when they were really on their best form. You know,
Yeah,
they'd throw
absolutely.
5 or 6 players at you and make them all make decisions.
When you got Billy Slater running around the back, it's very easy for a short ball to Will Chambers. Everyone's just looking at the fullback.
Well, we're going to get a big finish here, 24-20.
He
And
kicked it, did he?
Yeah, he kicked it. Macquarie are rolling now.
24 points to 20. You're exactly right, Morgan. What a grandstand finish we've got here on Bar TV Sports for Sunday afternoon rugby league.
Sucking up
Well,
as
you-
many minutes here as he can before he takes his kick off.
We're used to it being the other way around, aren't we? I mean, we've seen Macquarie get out in front of Lakes, and Lakes chase them down in the last 10. We're sensing that it's the opposite today.
Swaddling.
Good run.
Seems like the tactic now has just got to be to get... Oh, penalty.
Penalty.
Penalty. Crowd
Was that
blowing
kicked
up.
out?
I'm
Well,
not sure, but I was just about to say, you'd think the tactic now for Macquarie has to be keep hitting Simon Allen, because he is punching holes in this Lakes defence today.
No wasting time there from Scott Briggs.
And what a good touch finder too. Macquarie kicking into the breeze here as we see now Varvielli. He's wrapped up here now, Tom.
Didn't drop it off the tap, which is good news.
That's Hyde. Got it from Varvielli. Now back to Briggs. He now finds Alchin. And they wrapped him up there, of course, led, of course, by the 9 in D-Sacks. Quick play the ball. Gallen got it now from Hyde. Hyde out the back to
lots of numbers
Sumner.
here.
Sumner, the ball's in to hit the sandpit.
I don't think Cantor should have attempted to catch that. I think that was meant for Matt Simon around the back.
Yeah, hit the decoy man, Nathan Cantor there. The timing was just out. It's been the only thing holding them back today, has been getting those moves right.
Well, was it 7 minutes left?
Yeah, about that.
That's a long time in rugby league. A very long time, especially for Lakes being in front. That's going to be longer than a treadmill, 7 minutes.
So Kelly putting it in and sending it away to Murray. And Murray sends it away to Gulmia.
Morgan's friend.
Very
Not
close.
anymore. I'll be on the blacklist at Lakes next
There were
week.
no Christmas cards in 2016. Morgan says, oh, thank goodness, I'll save 80 cents in postage. Back to Charles. Runs straight into Swaddling. But Swaddling comes back assisted there by Hyde and Blake Gallen. That's the halfway line. They're about to go over. And they run straight into Adam Grew. And that's Ben Sams. Plays it back to the left. Murray goes short. down to the 30-metre line. It's the last tackle now for Lakes. They'll kick. They'll chase. Simon, he's hoping that this ball's going to go dead.
No, he doesn't.
And it does go dead. So back out to the 20-metre line. We've got Tom Taylor and Morgan Campbell. Well, I thought for a moment it would have, Tom.
Yeah.
I thought for a moment the sand might have pulled it back a few pegs. But it hit the other bit of grass and it went flying over. This is Varvielli out towards the 30, 40-metre line.
Yeah, the pictures we're seeing doesn't do it justice. It is sandy as out there. It is just incredible the amount of sand there is.
That's Schmiedel.
They've got a lot of weapons they can hit here, Macquarie, don't they? They've got Hyde working out a dummy half. They've got Allen and Schmiedel on the edges, Simon up the middle, and plenty of pace in the outside backs, and Sumner and Briggs directing it all. So they've got plenty of things they can throw at Lakes here as they chase this game.
The skill they have in their forwards as well
Simon.
is just second to none, because they've got a lot of the Briggs brothers have played timed in the halves.
There's Hyde.
What do we got here?
Briggs had to go out and collect it. He's looking around. He's trying to fend off Charles. The crowd booing in the background. As Charles gets off him, back now to Hyde. He now finds Subner to Gallen. Looping ball. Cantor. Tantor trying to stand up Ikanofo.
Good.
But Ikanofo comes back and wraps him up.
Last tackle now.
Back to now to Subner. They'll kick. They'll chase.
Oh.
The intention was to chase, but nobody chased. And now the Seagulls pluck it out of thin air. And now Ikanofo. This is what Marcel loves. This is how he gets the big thigh, chunky thighs, hitting up at every line. Now to Varka. Straight into Briggs, along with Thiessen.
That must be a daunting experience when the forwards for Lakes are taking a rest and they got someone like Marcel Ikanofo coming in to take a hit up and just to give them a bit of relief. Oh, that's just like another front row running at you.
Now to D. Sachs. Back to Murray.
He's
right.
outside.
Yeah, just outside 40. Simon's got to go away. He's got support in Hay if he chooses to give it to him. He does that in the end. He got the pass from Simon and he drops the tackle there from Dylan Harton. Simon again from dummy half. He loves quickness. He loves speed. But he also loves to get up and play the ball quickly, and that's exactly what he does. Sumner juggled, regain over the halfway line, over the 40, inside the 30. Pywell's away. He got away from Gulmere.
Good cover tackle, Brad Murray.
The most expensive one out there, cuts him into the ground. He'll get up and play the ball. Away now to Noble. He finds right inside. That's Briggs. Short ball again. They go close. Isaac Briggs.
It's the Briggs
show.
Is
he going to get it down? He does!
Briggs to Briggs.
Briggs to Briggs. The Briggs brothers, they're back.
There's a blow-up in the in goal here.
Oh, they love that too. The crowd love it.
There's a blow-up in the in goal here, Peter. I don't quite know what happened as Briggs went over to score the try, but they were just short. You could see it. I said it on my call. They were short to the left, Lakes. They just didn't have the numbers, and Briggs just drew it out of them beautifully, just held it up, and then put the man through the hole, and they've got to kick to win this game.
Well, there's Isaac Briggs just about to get up now from the in goal area. And there's captain in Subner going across.
There was a bit of kerfuffle there. He might have worn one.
I think someone's just jumped on Briggs
Coming
after
a bit late.
Put the ball down. And maybe another Briggs has taken a disliking to it, as you can understand a brother would.
Let's have a look at this replay. See, they were short here. They were skittled. And Briggs just held that pass up beautifully. And the other Briggs, Isaac,
just came in.
Just bringing it around to put the ball a little bit closer for Favielli to kick the goal. But you see there, I mean, you can see from the play, the ball, Varka's a long way in, Charles is a long way in, and it was De Sachs, pardon me, was a long way in, and it was just up to Scott Briggs to draw it out of them, and he did it beautifully. And here's the kick.
Tell you what, he's playing with danger, not grounding that the first time.
Yeah, wanted to make it a bit easier, but he risked turning it over. So here's Favielli.
That's a good moment too, because Scott Briggs spent the last few seasons at Souths playing against Isaac Briggs, and now he's back at Macquarie, setting him up for what could be the game-winning try. Very big kick here for Thiessen. I'll just call him T.
2.5 minutes to go. 2.5.
I would describe Adam Bettridge's mood as tense.
Did someone call this...
Still tense.
Did someone predict a draw at the start of the game?
These kicks, I mean, ordinarily you'd say this is an easy kick, but there's a bit of pressure here.
The moment now.
Probably thankful he's on that side.
For Vavalielli. He's made the moment his own. He's converted.
I think we could have a short kick-off here for Lakes.
Well, the Scorps go back to the front. Finals football early. Don't you love it? What a clash. One end of the field or the other.
Well, all of a sudden, they've got 2 minutes to defend this. The short kick-off was as predictable as fish on Good Friday. It's been taken, and Macquarie now, they've got no excuse to lose this game. They should hang on to this ball, bang it into touch, make a few tackles, and find themselves a few points clear at the top of the ladder. And
Five scoots from dummy half, you reckon?
Oh, it'd be some chance, and you can see Adam Grew there holding the ball one hand over, one hand under, like he's playing under-8s rugby union.
Smith looks like he's got a bit of a bandana on. Bit of the Karate Kid.
Chris Hyde here just looking around. Who's he going to give it to? Vivali Eloy. Give it to him. He's not going to let you down. Hyde again. Back to Gallen. He'll take it over the advantage line all day long. 2-point ball game here.
Let's kick this one out, yeah.
And they kick it into
Chewing up
towards
time,
touch.
that's all they want to do. Lakes are going to try and pack this scrum really fast, but unfortunately we're not the National Rugby League, so we don't have actually time off at a scrum when one team's ready to be packed. As you can see, there's no time off here. Oh,
40 seconds.
On you, JT. I was just saying that there's not going to be time off, and then you call time off. It must have been because he's ruled that Macquarie are deliberately wasting time. That's the only thing I can understand for that.
Well, what do you do here? 4 plays. They've got all the backs lined up. You'd imagine there's got to be a trick shot at some stage.
Maybe a little chip.
Marcel. That's him.
Well, the kick, you'd think the long kick is out of the question here because Simon's a long way back. He's actually talking to the assistant coach on the sideline saying, where should I be? He's very deep, so a chip and chase could be on here if Brad Murray wants it or if Jack Kelly wants it.
20 seconds to go.
Or maybe a little grubber for an outside back.
Yeah, something through to the wing or something like that. Let's see what they come up with.
Here we
Murray.
go. What's on now?
18 seconds on the clock. Gulmere sends out the back. Charles.
It's backwards, play on.
Doing a 360 to go forward again.
There's the hooter.
The siren goes in the background. And there it is. It's all over in the Newcastle Rugby League. The Scorpions have come back and knocked off the defending premiers of 2015. The final score, the Scorpions 26, Lakes 24.
Well, I reckon Adam Bettridge is pretty pleased with that. He's just gone in for the handshake with his assistant up in the grandstand and nearly given him a dislocated shoulder.
Gone from tense to what would you say now?
Jubilant. He's very pleased with himself.
Word.
And well might he be.
Word.
They've done a good thing here this year, Macquarie. They're on top of the table. They bounced back from that disappointment last year and they're playing really good football. They had every excuse to lose today. They had some bad luck before half-time. Lakes had all the running, but they turned it around. They found the big effort and they find themselves now clear at the top and looking very good things and a really good chance of taking out the premiership this year. They've had their problems in the past, but they're a serious footy team this year.
So apart from Lakes, who do you think are going to give Macquarie some grief during the rest of the year?
Well, it's hard to know, isn't it? I mean, Lakes look the nearest thing. It's all very even. I mean, South have their moments, but then they're not particularly consistent. The same thing you could say of Cessnock. Curry have got a good roll on at the moment. I think the real lurker is Wests. I know they're in bad form, but they got a lot of pros. They've had some trouble with the rep season. That's taken a lot out of them.
Yeah, Wests have done that before. They've been in bad form mid-season.
And I think if they once they get a little bit rested, get back into some decent form, I think they'll be right there at the end of the season as well. It's going to be a great final series, though.
It will be.
And, of course, all the games in the final series right here on the home of Newcastle Rugby League, Bar TV Sports. Well, Morgan, outstanding job today. Tom, hope you enjoyed your experience, mate. We really enjoyed listening to your thoughts.
Thanks, Pete. Hopefully you'll invite me back again one time.
I reckon.
Didn't give the referee too much stick. That was disappointing, but apart from that, it was all right.
Mate, you passed the audition.
Yeah.
That's the main thing, mate. 26-24, the Newcastle Rugby League alive and well in 2016. Macquarie, well, they don't want to come off the field. They just want to soak up the atmosphere and just cherish the moment with their coach, Adam Bettridge, who's going in the middle of that scrum. Cherish with the big fella in the middle of the sand pit. There he is. We might just stick with this because Bettridge has come here with a plan. He's come here with a mission. He got this side where he wanted them to be, and he is saying to the boys, let's not get ahead of ourselves. It was a great comeback, but we got to stick with it. heading into the final series.
There's some noticeable differences about Macquarie this year. I mean, in the past, in some of those moments in games like this when they're 10 or 12 or 14 points behind, they might have started trying to score off every play, chase the game. But today they were happy to put the ball in the in goal, get it back, keep the pressure going, and wait for the chance to come. And that's a big change that they've made. They're a much more professional sort of unit, and I think that makes them a much bigger threat.
Okay, well, we'll leave you here from Carl Oval, Sunday afternoon football. The Scorpions too good in the end by 26 points to 14. We'll be back next week live and uninterrupted right here on the home of Newcastle Rugby League, Bar TV Sports.
Cheerio.
Bye.
Good night, Australia.
It's just Luke Lawrence here from the National Rugby League team in Newcastle. So we've had 21 teams participate over the two age groups today. We've had the Year 7 and 8 division and also the Year 9 10 division. Got schools coming from Maitland, Newcastle, over 11 different schools, which has been fantastic. And we've had about 250 girls playing here today, which has been fantastic to see for rugby league in the area. They've called it the Casey Drummond Cup. Casey Drummond's actually one of our former staff members, and she's done a lot for our area. So it was just a little gift from us just to her to say thank you.